Great. So now we're online. Sorry for the mess. We're still experimenting with the software for the webinars, and it's sometimes challenging. So, my name is Pavel Kravchenko. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Distributed Lab. We are a blockchain expertise center. We have a lot of activities regarding blockchain development and research and education and events. And this is our attempt to move online because we've been doing a lot of things offline, and now because of quarantine, we have to move, we have to expand. Basically, this is the webinars about blockchain, digital economy, about digital finance, like FinTech 2.0, you name it. And we are going to cover different questions that are needed for the managers, for the CEOs, for the CTOs to decide what to do in such a world and what kind of decisions to make, and so on and so on. And the first topic would be what prevents blockchain from being used in a real life, in real world projects. And this is challenging because, like, as you know, millions and sometimes billions of dollars were spent to the blockchain integration, and results are like almost absent. And there are many reasons for that. And the first of all is that people have completely wrong expectations from blockchain, and this stems from the fact that they define the word blockchain differently. Basically, many people still believe that blockchain is a part of Bitcoin, and that's why they associate, or Ethereum, they associate any blockchain project with cryptocurrency. That's also not true. And they try to apply problems that cannot be solved at all using that products. And basically, first of all, we need to separate technology as the way of doing things from the product. So Bitcoin is a product. It solves a specific goal. It solves the censorship of transactions in a financial system. And blockchain helps to achieve that within certain range. And basically, Bitcoin also solves the problem of how to prevent double spending in the digital world. So Bitcoin technically is a digital commodity, and that kind of helps to maintain the single state of database between many participants. So blockchain itself is the way to store and synchronize data between parties who do not trust each other. And it can be applied to many cases. And entrepreneurs and businesses, they kind of wait the wait for the reduction of costs, for the efficiency increase or some new features. And these expectations are right, and they will be fulfilled at some point. Obviously, we're not touching cases where entrepreneurs just wanted to earn money via selling tokens to some investors, pretended that because of usage of blockchain, their business will somehow improve. And obviously, it will not. And if they want to raise money, they should use the IPO and some private equity funds and so on and so forth. But to transform their IT processes, yes, these are right expectations, but they have certain preliminary conditions, and we will talk about them today. So the second thing is that blockchain has a lot of myth around. The first of all, it's that it's slow or inefficient, and it requires some miners. And that's basically not right, because this is right for Bitcoin, but not right for the blockchain itself. So in this case, we can compare to show the difference between blockchain as a technology and the product that uses blockchain is like the effect, turbojet effect. It can be used in a jet plane, it can be used in a boat, it can be used in a toy if you are swimming in the bath. And they all use this effect. but obviously it could require petrol, it could require water or ions to make it happen. And obviously, in every case, the technology will be different, and the principle is the same. So blockchain is more or less about principles, and then each particular implementation will be about technology. And then each technology will be used in a certain product. So obviously, each product kind of has different requirements to the technology and performance. So you can't really compare blockchain as a principle to usage of blockchain in a particular product. And that's why, because people mix these things, they kind of mix the tree and the forest. That's why so many myths occur. But basically, blockchain should be used in all cases where we need to synchronize data and when we need to, between participants again who do not trust each other, and where we need to maintain integrity control, or where we need to provide trust to digital data. And for this, you need cryptography to be used. Without cryptography, you can't achieve these goals. So actually, blockchain is a quintessence of all these techniques to make it happen. So, and there are cases where you need the censorship resistant, decentralized, autonomous systems. And there are cases where you don't need this, and both are fine. So the different technology will be used. So I will show now how business really needs very often the double spending prevention on the example of tickets that we use to go to events. Basically, right now, all the tickets are digital, most of them. And but the person cannot really use the benefits of digital because they if they receive a digital ticket and want to sell it, then when they sell it, there are two copies of a single ticket occur in two different places, and whoever comes first to the event can be accepted. And basically, this is a double spending example because currently it works like just a copy of the data. And in order to prevent this, it needs to be working like money because when you send money, it's deducted from your account and credited to some other account. And this shows how double spending is prevented. In this case, it is basically shows that the business needs to have a processing center within the accounting system. And the blockchain can help because it basically shows who is the current owner. And the second thing that blockchain does in this case is that manages control of who owns the account. But we will come to this a little bit later. So actually, businesses can expect these benefits. And what next is that all these expectations lead to projects that try to implement blockchain within certain business systems. And here are the steps that are needed for business to start doing this. Because if business doesn't do the steps, no results whatsoever. And that's why this millions of dollars was spent on hiring smart contract developers and nothing really happened. And the first of all is that business needs to have a digital transformation plan because you can't really take the paper versions of documents and just put them on blockchain. It won't work. And I'm always laughing on DocuSign because like DocuSign is just it's like a fake digital signature. You see the screen, see the PDF version of a document, and you sign it with your finger. It's not a digital signature. It's just it's like mock-up. And the real digital signature is always cryptographic. So we need to first move all our business processes online, then digital, then we can apply blockchain. The second thing is that the digital identity should be present. And digital identity means that every person should be associated with a key pair, public key and a private key. public key will be identifier of the person. The private key is their secret to sign or encrypt messages. And basically, there are many countries that introduced corresponding laws. So in Ukraine, we have the law that for 18 years says that digital signature is the full equivalent of handwritten signature, and entrepreneurs use that to sign tax reports. But really, it's still like almost kind of fake because we give these keys to our accountants and they do it on behalf of us, and we don't use it in real world or very limited. But if organization wants to integrate blockchain, all their employees should use digital identity and should sign all actions with their keys. Then we can achieve non-repudiation. The third thing is that the company that wants to use blockchain should digitize their asset ownership records, registries. And it means it doesn't matter which assets it is. It could be money, in this case it will be bank, it could be securities, in this case it would be securities depository, or it's loyalty and it could be managed by a gas station, or it is intellectual property, it will be like a company that's responsible for managing the registry. And you can say that digitization already has happened. And basically, it is not because, yes, we have a digital databases, but customers cannot manage their ownership rights in these databases because you need an administrator or you need security admin to see who is doing what. Cryptography is not used, but it should be used. So the real digitization will happen when you'll be able to sign transactions with your digital identity, and these transactions will move assets in certain ledger, and that will be legally recognizable. The legal part is out of the question for now because that's kind of public affair should do it. So as soon as the registries are digital, as soon as all users have digital identity and they use digital signature, then blockchain can be used. So that will work. So then we come into questions that kind of harm blockchain integration. And surprisingly, the creation of consortium is one of the things that prevents blockchain from being applied quickly. Because consortiums are slow, people are talking, have political motives, and it's much better to start with the single organization, test the user experience, create the value, and then kind of copy this value and then expand this value. And then as soon as everything works, the real product works, then we are able to kind of expand it to consortium. So I always advise my clients to not to build consortium from the beginning because it's a never-ending game. You have to agree on the rules from the beginning. That's very hard. It's much better to show benefits because people don't care about technology, they care about benefits. So these are very simple techniques, do and don'ts in this space. And that's kind of the first webinar. For the next one, I want to hear your feedback. I want to hear what are your suggestions? Which questions should we cover? Because we are ready to cover almost any question related to blockchain digital finance. And you can vote for them in comments and you can suggest yours. So please do this. So that's it for today. Thank you for handling these technical issues. Thanks everybody who joined and see you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.